Hi again guys, and welcome to another Special Projects replica or custom type build. And in this particular build, this is the latter. This is a fictional tune for a real vehicle, of course, the Buick GNX. Now, the vehicle which this is inspired by to some degree is kind of twofold. It's of course inspired by the classic NASCARs of days gone by, but also to some degree visually it's based on the green villain, in effect, in the movie Cars, the Pixar movie. Don't know what that character's name is, but he looks pretty cool. Looks similar to a Buick. Not sure if it was based on one. Probably is. It looks very, very similar to it. But overall, as far as the visuals on this particular model, all I've done is fitted it with the Polyphony original, in effect, steel wheels. I believe they're called P525Ns, if I remember correctly. And I've painted it sassy grass green. That's for the body and the rims, and if you want that colour, that particular green, that comes from the Plymouth Roadrunner. I believe it comes from a couple of other vehicles as well, but I can't recall at the moment. It does definitely come from that Plymouth though, so that's all I've done to it visually. It's very simple to achieve. Due to the fact that it's not a premium vehicle, we cannot fit it with body upgrades, race numbers, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. So we'll go over to the mechanical tuning garage, of course, for the setup of the car, the fictional setup that is, and then of course take it out to an oval track to see how it performs as a NASCAR-esque vehicle. Now, this particular build, as I said, is not based on any particular real vehicle directly, so there is plenty of room for personal variation there. I've gone for racing soft tyres, but again, that's down to preference, what you need, what you're allowed to use, etc. As far as suspension, I've got the ride height as low as possible, front and rear. Springs I've increased to 10, respectively, to the front and the back. The dampers to 5, anti-roll all the way up to 7. We've got neutral camber and tow, perhaps surprisingly for a high-speed oval car. We'll come back to the gearbox in just a second. As far as the diff, again, as always, I would recommend playing around with these settings, using what works best for you, testing other things, etc. But I've gone for halfway on initial torque, then as low as possible on acceleration and braking. As far as power, I've fitted basically everything plus an oil change and then just reduced it by 0.1% on the power limiter. And as far as the weight, I've done the full weight loss package but then added 114 kilos of ballast to bring us up to a more NASCAR style 1400 kilos and to a 50-50 weight split, and also to get us down just to a rounded off 560 pp. Now, it's not as powerful as a couple of the other NASCAR-style vehicles which I've done, but still, 687 horsepower isn't bad. As far as the gearbox, I've designed this, as with most of my old-school NASCAR builds, to be predominantly a 3-speed tune, only using basically fourth for drafting. So, to do that, I've got the highest possible auto setting, then the individual gears are, as you can see, 2.6, 1.6, 1.1, 800 and 600, and then a final drive of 2. And this car will comfortably sit in third gear, not on the red line, but close to it at around 200 miles per hour around Daytona. So it's not as quick as some of the other tunes that I've done like this in the oval muscle car build category, but still, it's certainly not slow. That's it overall for the build though. Now let's finally take it out to an oval track. Now, as I mentioned, this is not as quick as some of the other old school NASCAR builds which I've done. It is running a good 100 to 200 horsepower less than many of the other classic muscle cars, but still the Buick GNX is a highly capable machine as far as muscle cars go. It is one of the newest muscle cars on the game, apart from of course the latest ones like the Camaro and the Challenger. But overall, it's quick, it's competitive within its admittedly niched category, and the handling is very good. Now, as with my other builds of this style, I would recommend being slow and smooth with the steering, no jerky movements, because at the end of the day, it's still a big, heavy car, and you can spin out. It's not perfect, just because the handling is good, of course, so driver control is always required. Overall, you're looking at laps of around 44-45 seconds on a rolling start, so pretty impressive. for this vehicle. So overall, if you do decide to use this build, obviously I hope you find it fun and potentially competitive for racing as well. And if you'd like to keep up with other builds like this in the future, be sure to slap subscribe down below for those. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.